This is Bumper to Bumper Radio, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. Bumper to Bumper, helping you and your car feel better. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everybody, to a great Saturday. Saturday's always great. You never have a bad one. Welcome to Bumper Radio. I'm Dave Riccio. He is Matt Allen, and we are here to help you with your car every Saturday from 11 to noon, right here on News Talk 92.3 KTAR. At Bumper to Bumper Radio, we're helping you, the motoring public, have a better overall car repair experience. If you got questions, we've got answers, so we encourage you to give us a call at 602-277-5827. 602-277-KTAR. And for those of you who are texting but not driving, you can get a hold of us at 411-923. Send us your questions there. Today on the Bumper to Bumper Roadmap, open phones as always. Do you live and die by internet reviews? And our Attorney General is doing some more good work in the auto repair business. Fill us in, Matt.
Doing some good work for sure. You know, when Tom Horn came into office or was campaigning, I don't know, couple years ago, one of his deals was going after protecting consumers and maybe going after it. I think auto repair shops were one of his, I don't want to say targets because I don't know that it's a target. Sometimes it's an easy target.
Right.
And they did another sting. We got a press release on Wednesday, kind of summarizing basically Fletcher's Tire and Auto Service in Gilbert was found to have cheated an undercover quote consumer who was a attorney or agent, secret agent with these attorney general's office. And what they do is they rig up a car and they take it into a repair shop and let you have at it with them.
See what happens. See what they recommend you. See what's sold. All that stuff.
And in this case, it looks, now we don't have enough information, but in this case, it looks like there was something wrong with an air conditioner or alleged to be wrong, and they got sold. The customer did a $900 bill of goods, which was work that was unnecessary on the car. So what I'm envisioning here is maybe someone drove in with an air conditioner not working, and all it really was a blown fuse. But they had a manager tell them that that there was an internal seal and the compressor was bad, and that needed to be replaced for $900, even though no diagnostic test was performed that would show a leaking seal. Not that this is in, but I guess that's that free diagnosis that you get, right?
Right.
Get what you pay for?
Yeah, lift the hood. Yep, need an AC compressor.
Well, but I'd like to know more. We're going to try and get a hold of them and find out what really happened here. How was that presented? There's a lot more to these stories, and these didn't just, they didn't just get this car and say, let's go check out this Fletcher's today. I mean, there had to be a pattern.
Oh yeah,
this was
back in March too. There's a lot of follow-up before it even comes down to we hear about it. So it wouldn't be an undercover sting if we knew about it early.
Right, and that's I think it cost them $28,000. But my point there, Dave, was it wasn't just one complaint. I mean, people complain and maybe they don't know who to complain to, but this just wasn't this random complaint. This I imagine that this comes after a pattern of there's of the same story.
There's 900 just general repair shops in the valley, so they can't do a sting on all 900 of them, but they're looking for patterns. So the Attorney General's office gets complaints on a regular basis about all kinds of businesses, but when they see the same one over and over and over again about the same particular business, then it's like, it's a good place to start right here.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, this particular location had 63 Better Business Bureau complaints in the last 36 months or 3 years. Not this particular location, but company-wide.
Well, that brings me to reviews, because I was just looking. The BBB has a lot of bad reviews on it online. Did you see that?
No, what?
No, the BBB itself. As far as reviews.
Yeah. We looked up the BBB, and they've got a score of 2 on Google. Well, I can't even think of it. But, yeah, the people who are supposed to be the consumer, I don't even know what, but they have bad reviews. Now, I didn't read them, Dave, but it'd be interesting.
I'm going to have to look into them, but I'm reading this review, and this is a shop that I know very, very well, probably one of the most honest shops out there. They bend over backwards for their customer, and this review reads, "Attention, do not trust this place. My mother was a senior citizen, was taken advantage of at this place. January 2012, they replaced her water pump and told her it was leaking. Installed a new one with warranty for 12 months. February 13th, 2013, they again told her it was leaking and installed another one. Of course they did, as the warranty was expired. And why not suck more money out of a senior citizen? These people are a cricket preying elderly population. Really, a new water pump every year and every 5,000 to 6,000 miles? I don't think so. Stay away from this place." What do you think of that review?
Well, as knowing who the review was written about, I know it's crazy. But then you start to break down these reviews, and people go into maybe a personal attack, and they bring, I mean, Dave, we see this in the Better Business Bureau when we arbitrate cases. They bring in stuff that doesn't matter. Oh, it's a senior citizen. Nah, that's an emotion for you. It probably has nothing to do with anything. You know, it's...
Well,
they don't know what to complain about, but we know the reality behind this complaint is it's not even, this is second, and she's writing a review about an experience that her mother had. And she doesn't even know what she's talking about.
And she didn't pay for a water pump twice. They covered it out of warranty with no questions asked. They charged her for another service that she needed, but somehow the daughter thought that her mother was taken advantage of. And, you know, I can appreciate that you would want to look out for your mother or your brother or whoever it may be. But as you guys as consumers are reading up on auto repair shops, you got to understand that sometimes these things are gamed. So you'll see a shop that has all these great reviews, and you go have a different experience there that you didn't expect based off the reviews. Well, I was going to write Matt a bad review this morning, but I didn't have the heart to do it, just to prove that anyone can write anything on the internet. So do you trust them? And if you are going to use reviews for picking an auto repair shop, it should only be one piece of your decision-making process.
Well, and it can certainly be a filter. Maybe you're down to the wire and you're ready to choose, and you want to just get some information to go in there. But if you look at some of the bad reviews, I've got good ones, I've got bad ones, I've got some right down the middle. You go look at some of the bad ones, half of those people, I would say, now I'm just making up statistics, but there's a portion of those people that never even spent a dime at the shop. They're mad because we didn't give them a price over the telephone, or they're mad for some other reason, or because their perception of what we wanted to do and how we wanted to handle that relationship is
boy,
it got skewed.
You're slow this morning.
I know. I'm trying to think. It's an important topic.
I get online and I do write Matt a bad review every now and then. Horrible service. The bald guy at the front.
He's bad news. Watch out for the bald guys. But and then you get people that just vent. And what I wish people would do, I would say the overwhelming majority, if not almost all of them, and whether it's me or any other shop, I'd be willing to bet that the customer or the reviewer never went to a manager or to an owner and said, "Hey, I've got a problem. Here's what happened. What do we do to fix this?" Maybe they're antisocial. They don't have skills to have a conversation. They just go to the computer because they can. At some point, they can be a bit anonymous, although we can usually figure out who it is.
Right.
But let us help you have a better experience and fix the problem before we want reviews.
How do you use reviews? Do you use reviews when you go to restaurants? I mean, because restaurants are different than auto repair, but, do you, I look at restaurants, they got a 4-star or whatever.
Sometimes.
I'll go there 4-star. If I see a 1-star, and it's like, I don't know.
Sometimes you want to read the 1-star just to see how crazy the person is that wrote it, because you can really get a peek into the mind of some wacko that wrote this 1-star and just went ballistic. But at the other hand, Dave, you see the stacked 5-stars, right?
Mm.
Maybe you see one from the person who hasn't written a bunch of reviews. Does that carry
I
as
would
much
just
weight?
I would just say read deeper. If you're going to use reviews as a tool for picking an auto shop, read deeper. Sometimes on I'll use Yelp for instance. I have good reviews on Yelp, but they got filtered out. So I got one good one and one bad one. So you got to read deeper. But on your iPhone, all it's going to pop up with is the last kind of review and the 2 stars or whatever it is. But go deeper. You can't, and not just one of them, because Yelp has one way of filtering reviews. I don't think Google filters as much. It doesn't seem like they do.
Google's always changing that algorithm, and it's got Google Plus, and whether you're on Google Plus, and it's hard to say. But what I like, Dave, too, is look at the response from the owner on some of the reviews. Did they tell the person to go pound sand? And maybe that's a good thing because they did. Because there's some customers, Dave, we fire them too. Sometimes you don't qualify to be a customer of mine at times. And so how was the response from the shop?
Well, we've got wide open lines at 602-277-5827, 602-277 KTAR. You can also text us at 411-923. You're listening to Bumper Radio.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, a time for decked halls, roasted chestnuts, and jingle bells. You can make a child's holiday magical this Christmas. The Wigwam and Arizona Biltmore Golf Clubs are partnering with Toys for Tots this holiday season to bring joy and Christmas toys to less fortunate children in the community. Bring an unopened toy or make a donation at either the Wigwam Golf Resort or the Arizona Biltmore Golf Club and receive a $10 merchandise credit to use in the pro shops. Help spread the Christmas cheer this year. Visit azbiltmoregc.com or wigwamgolf.com for more information.
It's really coming down now, and that little voice is saying shoulda, coulda, woulda. You meant to call Kaiko Roofing last storm, but you didn't, did you? Now it's raining cats and dogs, and Mr. Shoulda, coulda, woulda is watching a puddle form on the ceiling. If the roof on your home or business is over 10 years old, get rid of shoulda, coulda, woulda. Call Kaiko Roofing at 602-944-4600 for a free checkup today. At Kaiko, we install peace of mind with the finest materials and the most skilled workers, all backed by the owner's pride guarantee. Flat, foam, tile, or shingle, Kaiko handles them all. From a small leak to a complete new roof, Kaiko has you covered. Since 1994, Kaiko has repaired or replaced tens of thousands of valley roofs. Over 50% of our business coming from referrals or repeat customers. In fact, over 98% of our customers say they would refer us to a friend. For more information and financing options, go to KaikoRoofing.com. Kaiko Roofing. We're crazy about quality.
We loved our Prius, but 8 years later, it had lost its zip and fuel economy. The dealer told us the only answer was to replace the battery to the tune of $4,000 to $6,000. Ouch! Then we found the hybrid shop at Good Works Auto Repair. For a fraction of the cost, they conditioned the battery like new. The zip is back, and we're once again over 40 mpg. We're ecstatic.
A hybrid owner's dream come true. Check out the hybrid shop at goodworksautorepair.com.
My pappy said, son, you're going to drive me to drinking if you don't stop driving that hot rod Lincoln.
Bumper to Bumper on News Talk 92.3 KTAR.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and we're here every Saturday from 11 to noon helping you with your car. If you've got car questions, give us a call at 602-277-5827. 602-277 KTAR. You can also text us at 411-923. And we're talking about how to find good auto repair shops and reviews and Attorney General stings on dirty auto shops. And I did want to tell you one of the great places you can find an auto repair shop is bumpertobumperradio.com. There are a bunch of independently owned shops where the owner's in the shop every day, and they've been established for a number of years, and credible shops, good shops you can trust and rely on. One of the newest shops that we've added to Bumper Radio is New Image Paint and Body, which is in Tempe. That's John Fox and Chris Bozar. And New Image has been around for decades. And the thing I like about them, as all the body shops on Bumper Radio, is they're not in the pocket of the insurance company. So if you take your car there, they're going to fix your car best for you, not best for the insurance company. And that's a big deal. When you get your car wrecked and your buddy down at the insurance company says, oh, go to these guys are great. Well, are they? Are they great? Or, you want to go to a body shop that's not necessarily in the back pocket of the insurance company. And they're what I call direct repair facilities. And just because a shop is a direct repair facility doesn't mean they're a bad shop. What I'm saying is that there can be a conflict when the guy you're getting business from wants you to repair something and use a used part or this piece or that piece, and the body shop really wants to do what's right for you. So
yeah, well, the insurance companies are arrogant. They figure they control the purse strings, and So they say, whoever body shop, no, we don't pay for that kind of stuff.
They want to put a used part in there when they should be putting a new part in there,
or clamps or stickers or shop supplies that hold the hood prop rod or little things like that. I think sometimes they get expected to just cover. They're just part. That's just an ancillary item. That's just part of the deal.
Well, if you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio, check out New Image Paint and Body. And Michael Henry, who works with us on Bumper to Bumper Radio, he took his car there like 20 years ago. His Dodge Intrepid. Remember that car? Dodge Intrepid. And he remembers just the whole atmosphere of them really making sure his car was fixed and fixed right, and not based off what the insurance company said. So when you guys know, when you're talking to your insurance company and your car's in repair, they have a list of recommended shops or shops in your area, that type of thing. Those are shops that have signed up and agreed to their terms and conditions, if you will, and that's how they're listed. It's not because they have any sort of great relationship with them. It's just business.
Could be here today and gone tomorrow. The next guy comes in and sometimes does it a bit cheaper. The insurance company will just sometimes move that relationship right over.
Right. Well, the other thing, general repair shops, people, I find a lot of negativity about their mechanics out there. Like, oh, this guy charged me all this money and this guy charged me all that money and I didn't need any of it. And, when we talk about I'm glad that the Attorney General is doing what he's doing, because there is some bad seeds in our business, hands down, there is. But they're a small percentage as opposed to the good people doing good repair work who are proud of their jobs and are going to take care of you. So as a whole, the auto repair industry, I think we have a little more problem with being inept versus...
Well, that's one thing you say is I think there's more rip-off, if you will, through incompetence or inability than there is through straight dishonesty.
Well,
right?
I would, just flat out bold dishonesty or fraud. The thing I would like to see, because this in this particular instance, Fletcher's was hit with the suit and they paid the bill. But if it's fraud, at some point, why wouldn't the actual technician be responsible? If you're robbing a bank and I'm driving the car, I'm an accomplice, right? The technician would have to know something's going wrong. Why is, I believe, Fletcher should be part of the deal, but I also believe the technician has got to have some ownership.
Two to tango, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you see this? I mean, these other types of shops that have had these things are both either the multi-store location or chain franchise, and then there's transmission warehouses and big places. Then that aren't necessarily multi-stores. They're just huge production type warehouse, internet shipping, and that type of deal. But you're right, Dave. Two people. So is this the culture of that type of retail auto repair, coupon-driven tire store?
When you have multiple locations, they could have really good locations and they can have some really bad locations. You get a bad manager and a bad shop with a bad technician, and the two just do bad work and take advantage. So you can't throw them all into the bus, but what I'm saying is there's some good ones and there's some bad ones, and you really got to know the people that are working there. But I like to debate this with other guys in my business, is that, you just went to a massage this morning. I'm pretty sure that the therapist was licensed. Was she not?
Yes.
I got a haircut on Wednesday, and my barber was licensed. There's a license, pretty much, a food handler's license. Anything related to safety, there's a license that goes on, and it's not necessarily for the business. So the business does have a license, but it's for the actual individual practicing the work. So why do auto mechanics not have that?
I don't know, and I don't know that there's a whole lot of states that do have shop licensing. Maybe there is some. I mean, I know there's been talk about shop licensing, but not necessarily technicians that I'm aware of. But the last thing I want is more government in my life. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation.
I understand that, but why are you okay with your massage therapist being licensed? She's been to school. She's. I mean, there's something to be said about that. And I don't think you need to put more burden on the shops necessarily, but on the technician,
sure,
he should have a license that he's proud of, and he should have a license that can be dinged if he's mischievous or does anything fraudulent.
I lived in Virginia, Northern Virginia, and in Virginia we have state safety inspections. I wish we had them here on cars. But the deal with that was, and the way they keep you honest, as a state safety inspector, that program is managed by the state police. So you have a state trooper coming into your shop once a month, once a quarter, whatever that frequency is. I don't remember. And they're checking your inspection booklet. They're checking your inspection lane, making sure things are happening the way they're supposed to happen. The other thing that they do is you get a car that got pulled over, and you gave your buddy an inspection sticker on a car that didn't pass, your license is attached to that number. And that's not just your inspector's license. That is your driver's license.
The license is on the shop or on the technician?
The shop is licensed to have an inspection lane, but then each inspector is a certified inspector, certified by the state police, DPS, or, whichever the agency or the enforcement agency is. And I'll tell you what, it's hard to bribe your buddy for a sticker when you got something wrong, because he knows his driver's license is on the line for that.
But that wasn't too much government in your life, was it? Well, that was a good thing.
Yeah, having to have the inspection number. No, it wasn't. And that's a whole other topic. We should be having inspections on cars in the state, keep the roads a whole lot safer. But let's debate it. We've got open phone, 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. Open lines if you want to talk about inspections, licensing, rip-offs. What else?
Anything related to auto repair. Let's talk about it. You want to talk about body shops and insurance companies? We can talk about that as well. We've got Dose and Barry when we come back, 602-277-5827. You listen to Bumper Radio.
Hi, this is Greg LaFonsi of Automotive Diagnostic Specialties. Long name, right? But we have a short, simple goal. Customer satisfaction is our number one priority, and everything else takes care of itself. Bumper to Bumper Radio approved. ADS is a family-owned and operated state-of-the-art repair facility that has an expert staff that for the second straight year has earned the coveted AAA Top Shop Award as one of the best shops in the nation. Just east of I-10 on Chandler Boulevard. Find us at automotiveddiagnosticspecialties.com.
Arizona Biltmore is filled with hundreds of historical moments and traditions. Did you know Irving Berlin wrote White Christmas as he lounged poolside at Arizona Biltmore Resort? Make your own memories at Arizona Biltmore this year with 2 legendary golf courses, 8 swimming pools, 7 tennis courts, a luxurious spa and fitness center, and 6 on-site restaurants. You never know how the Arizona Biltmore might inspire you. Experience it all with the brand new presidential membership for access to luxurious amenities at the golf club and resort. Visit azbiltmoregc.com for more information.
After 14 years in the States, mostly spent here in the Valley, I was getting bloody frustrated with the treatment I was receiving from dealerships on the maintenance and repairs of my vehicles. I finally reached out to a friend who told me I was crazy not to try Virginia Auto Service. Being a mom with a busy schedule, children, and work, I took my friend's advice and gave Virginia a try. What a refreshing difference. From the first step through their doors, their staff was accommodating and understanding. Robert explained in plain English what I needed to have done, but also why. They went out of their way to make sure that the experience was convenient, with door-to-door shuttle service by a lovely man named Bergie. Several years and a number of visits later, the experience is always the same. They tell me what is necessary right now and what is not. This is Victoria, and I don't know much about cars, but I do know that from boot to bonnet, Virginia Auto Service knows how to take care of their customers. Check them out online at virginiaautoservice.com.
Hi, I'm Scott, General Manager with Whitey's Auto Repair here in South Scottsdale. We built a reputation for quality auto service and repair for over 45 years, and our customers have come to trust us for our recommendations. We value that trust, and that's why when it comes to transmissions, for the past several decades, we've been recommending Tri-City Transmission. They have yet to disappoint. I feel so strongly about it, I wouldn't go anywhere else. Why would you? Google them online today at tricitytransmission.com. Go where the pros go. Tri-City Transmission.
Hi, this is Derek Hall with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Ever dream of winning $1 million? How about a new Mercedes and other randomly drawn prizes? Participate in the Waste Management Phoenix Open's new Going for the Green closest to the pin contest, and you can win these and more just for entering. The contest runs Friday, December 13th through Sunday, December 15th at 6 Valley Golf Courses. One winner will advance to the Waste Management Phoenix Open's Shot at Glory on the 16th hole during tournament week. All proceeds benefit the First Tee of Phoenix. Visit WMPhoenixOpen.com to find out how you could win $1 million.
Are you looking for a refreshing change in customer service? I'm Lee Weatherby from Accurate Automotive. How about a refreshing change in your car repair relationship with honest, clear, and responsive service that looks out for your needs and not ours? For over 20 years, we've been delivering award-winning service provided by ASE-certified technicians with one goal, looking out for your best interest. If it needs fixing, we'll tell you. If it doesn't, you'll know that too. I guarantee that you will not get that business-as-usual treatment at Accurate Automotive. Foreign and domestic, cars, trucks, and even fleet service, Accurate can handle your job. I invite you to come in and experience a refreshing difference in car repair and maintenance. Stop by for a free courtesy inspection, a $49 value. We feel it is well worth our investment in you because we know that good long-term relationships start early with your first walk through our doors. I'm Lee Weatherby, and I'll be there to greet you. Accurate Automotive, home of friends serving friends, just off Broadway and Robeson in Mesa since 1992. For more information, check us out at AccurateAutomotiveAZ.com today.
Bumper to Bumper on News Talk 92.3 KTAR.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm Dave Riccio from Tri-City Transmission, and he is Matt Allen for Virginia Auto Service. And we are helping you today with your car. If you've got questions, 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. And we've got a board full of phones as well as a bunch of text. We've got a text on a 2000 F-250 with a 7.3-liter diesel. He went from 15 miles per gallon on a regular basis down to 8. And I'll be the first to tell you, I am not a diesel guy.
No, and that's from Rocky. So, Rocky, if you'll send us an email or even a text with what part of town you're in, we can get you pointed in the right direction for a diesel specialty shop. We've got a couple of those at bumpertobumperradio.com. Dave, there's another one on here talking about mobile mechanics. What do you guys think about mobile mechanics, and are they safe? Well, I mean, back before I opened my shop, I was one of those guys kind of working on cars at my house, and I did a good job. But I can tell you, as a mobile mechanic,
in your opinion,
that's fact, and that's before they used to write reviews, right? But there's a lot of jobs in my shop. The overwhelming majority, I would not want to have somebody doing at my house, or as a technician, I wouldn't want to be doing in a driveway. You've got to deal with fluids and I got to go get this part and run back, and having the right tools. I don't know how one could haul around all the right tools to do a job.
Well, yeah, I could see where it would be super convenient to have someone set up, and they don't have all the overhead of a regular general repair shop. But at the same time, they don't have all the tools of a regular general repair shop, too. So you got to do a few things different because you're missing those things.
And I've never seen, now if you had one done up right, it was a bigger truck. It had, like I'm picturing like a Snap-on truck. It had tools. It had some good inventory.
Brake lathe.
It was just substantial. But usually what you see is Cletus driving around in an old U-Haul truck or something that was converted, and U-Haul took off the road 45 years ago.
Right.
Or, some stereotypical hillbilly riding around fixing cars. And,
I don't know what Cletus looks like, but you got to be careful that it's not a fly-by-night guy. I had a guy show up in pop into town and say, "Hey, I can rebuild your transmission jacks." Great, man. And I have like 5 of them, and I paid him $200 a transmission jack, and a week later none of them worked.
Yeah,
but he was
some
gone.
Gypsy. He was back.
Phone number disconnected.
Yeah, he was back in North Carolina or wherever he came from.
I got duped big time, and they were worse than before he touched them. So we're going to go with Andrew in Phoenix. He looks like a shop owner. Go ahead, Andrew. You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Good.
Hey, I was listening to you guys talking about, bad repair shops around here in Phoenix, and how I will tell you, as a shop owner, it does make it difficult I consider myself a reputable shop owner. It makes it difficult for us to operate in that we are constantly on the defensive with clients. And it almost makes your job that much harder in that you're having to convince the client, from the ground, it's just a battle uphill almost because of these other shops.
Well, I think that's a good point. I mean, auto repair in general is just hard enough as it can be, but then you've got that whole other aspect. So you've got employees that take care of that are interesting, and then you've got consumers that no matter what you say, it's a lie in their mind.
Andrew,
sometimes.
Why do you think that the consumers are of that mindset?
Well, a lot of it is they've gotten a bad experience at another shop. Number one, hey, look, I paid $2,000 at this shop. My car's still doing the same thing, and we get the cars in the shop, we look them over, and, you know, again, I pride myself. My techs have been with me 5 years or longer. I've groomed them to the point to where I trust them, you know, not to rip off my clients. And we get under there, we find work that's either been done incorrectly or even not at all, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know...
Yep. And the other thing I do, and this is something other shop owners, I mean, if they want to take into... You remember the old show and tell? I believe in taking a client out to the shop, opening the hood, lifting it up in the air, and pointing to what we're doing.
Oh, absolutely. And that's part of the relationship thing, is having that trust with your customer and being able to walk out, and they know at any time you'll show them.
Right.
And you'll take anybody at any time.
And sometimes customers, they say, I don't want to go back there because I don't know what I'm going to be looking at anyway. And they don't want to feel stupid. No, don't feel stupid. Absolutely go on a tour. You want to see that the guy you're talking to is diligent, and you want to see his processes, how he does things, why he's recommending what he's recommending to you. Learn a little something. Go out in the shop. See what he's got to show you.
Andrew also brought up something, is that his guys have been with him a while, and he knows that they're not going to rip off his customers.
Right, because he can't be there every single moment.
That's the thing with the Fletcher's deal. Ultimately, the mechanic is the one that made this recommendation and looked at this car. And
that's why they got to be held liable. That's why the licensing has to be on the mechanic.
Right. So, but it's a two-way thing though. If that's happening over and over again, is there some collusion between the shop manager, who probably doesn't have any skin in the game, is not an owner, and the technician? Are they both working the system because everything they do is based on sales and they have to get sales? I just wonder. There's so many different things that can drive this animal.
Well, there's people working at the counter who are service advisors that have no idea about the car. So they got to take whatever the mechanic gives to them. And quite honestly, in some of the chains, and I worked in a chain, they love to hire people that had great people skills but didn't necessarily know anything about the car. So how could they audit the technician to know everything was going good? So we've got David in Tucson, FAA mechanics. I'll be curious what David has to say. I bet he's certified.
Now, David, I bet I bet you're certified. I bet there's all kinds of processes and checks and balances if you're an aircraft mechanic, right?
Well, actually, what it comes down to is, yes, you have to, at the very beginning, first off, you have to be able to document every nut you've touched, every bolt you've turned, every check you've done, and you have to put that down before you even go and start the process to get the license. And once you do get the license, then you have to go off of, there's a mechanic's oath, an FAA or an AMP mechanic. There's two licenses. One is the airframe and one is the power plant. And they're two entirely different licenses. But to be able to get both, you have to be able to, again, show all the documentation, prove to everybody that you can do it, and go and pass the test. And that goes everything from being able to adjust a magneto to being able to tell them how many stages are in a turbine engine on a Challenger aircraft or on a 737, and then be able to diagnose what it is that's going on with an igniter. So it's entirely different. But you guys have been making some very, very good points regarding that liability still has to be on the mechanic, because that is exactly what it is on an FAA mechanic. That person is the one, the ultimate tool that person has is his brain, the education, and a pen. Without that plane will not be returned to service. And that's the honor and integrity that goes into every mechanic that's out there, which is huge.
Yeah, I appreciate those comments because I've been on this path lately. Is that I do think that the technician should be licensed to practice. He's got a license. He can be dinged on, and I get it that, in this particular case, yes, Fletcher's was the one that ultimately paid the fine. But where's the mechanic in all this? He just goes and gets another job in another shop, and no one ever, they
transferred him.
He can be within the system, and he's there, and you know what? We should be able to look up that guy's license, that guy's number. We should be able to know who worked on our car. And I think, he's got to be responsible for what he does, and that's just my soapbox. So
you are mighty tall today, Dave.
Very tall. So other than licensing, let's see if we can help somebody on their car. Let's go with Barry in Peoria on a 2002 Suburban. Go ahead, Barry. You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, thanks a lot for taking my call. I've got 1,500 two-wheel drive Suburban. It's got 135,000 miles on it, and it's never been aligned before, but the tires are wearing very unevenly on the front inside edges of each of the tires. So my question is, what do we think is wrong, and Second of all, where should I go to get it fixed?
Well, you say two-wheel drive?
It's a two-wheel drive,
Two-wheel drive.
Yeah, at 100,000 miles or even 125 for that matter, we find in my shop the front ends on those Chevy trucks, Suburbans, trucks, whatever it is, they're just worn out. A lot of ball joints, a lot of inner tie rod end failures.
Idler arms.
Idle arms. Although some of those don't have that, they're rack and pinion type steering, so they may or may not have an idle arm depending on which system it has. Upper control arm bushings all the time. So really, Barry, I think what you need to do is find a shop. You're in Peoria. Dave's Car Care is one that comes to mind, 51st Avenue in Peoria, or go to bumpertobumperradio.com. Look on the map and see if there's someone close to you. But they're going to start by shaking down what we call shaking down the front end. You're going to check the wheel bearings, the tie rod ends, the ball joints, control arms, and just shake down the whole front end, find out what's worn out, those parts that need to be replaced, and then have an alignment done.
Both inner edges worn out. What is that thing, toed out? It's kind of like, you're not pigeon foot, but you're the opposite.
Yeah, toed out. Toes in, toes out.
Toed out.
Or control arm bushings. They're just dragging the inside edge of the tires down the road. Eat up some tires real quick like that.
Well, thanks so much for the call, Barry. 602-277-5827, 602-277, KTAR. We're going to go with Brian in Buckeye on a 2012 Honda Civic. Go ahead, Brian. You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I don't actually have a repair. I'm just going a little different direction here. Stop me anytime I get too far off. I do have the Civic, and it's actually an SI model, so a little, I won't say sporty, but zippy, at least. And I'm actually looking to, start modifying it soon. Just the basic kind of things like intake, exhaust, maybe a header. I'm also thinking about doing, here's where the question comes in, I'm also thinking about doing a Honda Flash Pro on it. I know those have to be tuned, and I have absolutely zero idea how to do that. I looked into it, and it just seems so far, above my skill level. Do you guys have any suggestions on a shop where I can get that done, or where I can get all of my modifications done for that?
Yeah, I think so. Dave was pointing at himself. He knows somebody. I don't know a whole lot about this particular programming and flashing and such on that model. Dave?
Well, I was going to make a point as far as modifying cars. Be careful what you modify. You can sometimes, ruin a car. I see these cars that comes in with all kinds of different bolt-ons on them. And when you get in the car, it just drives like crap.
So you're trying to hot rod your Honda, Dave. I
know. I was thinking about getting a turbo for my Honda because, the Element just isn't sexy. It'd be more of a sleeper if I could, roast the tires from the line. But, there's some modifications that are good and then some that can wreck the car, but there definitely is specific shops that do that kind of work. And I can't think of the one in my mind, but he's actually just down the street from me, and he's got he can dyno the thing, especially the all-wheel drive cars. He's got a, deal he can run it, and he tunes them all the time. I'm not sure if Greg at ADS does too much tuning on Civics. He probably does. But if you send me an email at bumpertobumperradio.com on the contact link, I will get you both those names and numbers, and maybe they have some good input as far as what to start with, because I'm not well-versed in modifying your Honda. There's a ton of things you can do to them.
I used to know all that stuff, and I've gotten out of the modified car stages of my life, and I just want to drive them now.
Right. Well, when we come back, we've got a couple open lines at 602-277-5827. You're listening to Bumper Radio.
It's really coming down now, and that little voice is saying shoulda, coulda, woulda. You meant to call Kaiko Roofing last storm, but you didn't, did you? Now it's raining cats and dogs, and Mr. Shoulda, coulda, woulda is watching a puddle form on the ceiling. If the roof on your home or business is over 10 years old, get rid of shoulda, coulda, woulda. Call Kaiko Roofing at 602-944-4600 for a free checkup today. At Kaiko, we install peace of mind with the finest materials and the most skilled workers, all backed by the owner's pride guarantee. Flat, foam, tile, or shingle, Kaiko handles them all. From a small leak to a complete new roof, Kaiko has you covered. Since 1994, Kaiko has repaired or replaced tens of thousands of valley roofs. Over 50% of our business coming from referrals or repeat customers. In fact, over 98% of our customers say they would refer us to a friend. For more information and financing options, go to KaikoRoofing.com. Kaiko Roofing. We're crazy about quality.
News Talk 92.3 KTAR.
Do you love your hybrid? Yep, we did too. Hi, my name is Brian. We bought our Prius to help with my wife's long commute back and forth to work. We love the get up and go and the fuel economy. But 8 years later, our MPG was eroding and the zip was gone. We tried everything from tune-ups to new tires. The dealership's answer was that's just the way it goes with hybrids, and that we were probably looking at a new battery at the cost of $4,000 to $6,000. Sound familiar? We were lost. Then we found the hybrid shop at GoodWorks Auto Repair. They were able to condition our battery to like new for a fraction of the cost. The Zip and the 40-plus MPG is back. We're in love again with our Prius and the hybrid shop at GoodWorks Auto Repair.
Thanks for the kind words, Brian. Hi, Glenn Hayward for the Hybrid Shop at GoodWorks Auto Repair. Fall in love again with your hybrid. For details, go to GoodWorksAutoRepair.com.
This is Bumper to Bumper, News Talk 92.3, KTAR.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm Dave Riccio, and I don't really recognize this guy, but his name is Cletus standing next to me. He's
Cooter, not Cletus.
Cooter?
Cooter.
I'm Bo Duke, and this here is Cooter, and we're helping you with your car, 602-277-5827. And I'm just looking at some of these texts. I have a 2005 MDX with 147,000 miles. I was getting 20 miles per the gallon, and now I'm only getting 15. What could be going on? I would be suspect he's got a check engine light on that he's been ignoring. What do you think?
Well, I was going to go down that road, but, here I can see this, Dave. We talk to people about not directing the repair and don't go in and tell them. I can just hear, those guys in the radio said, I want this. Do this on my car. Those guys said that. And now get ready for the bad review. On that MDX, that's a pretty big drop, 25%.
Yeah.
Gone. I would bet that, like you said, Dave, chances are that big of a swing, maybe the check engine light, service engine soon light is on or should be on. Maybe the bulb's burnt out. But as a technician, you would go in, interface with a handheld scan tool, or we have a laptop that has the Honda and Acura software on it with an interface, and we're going to look at some different items. We're going to look at fuel trim. There's a sensor in the exhaust, an oxygen sensor. Now they're calling them air-fuel ratio sensors. That's reading what's happening. It's measuring everything coming out the tailpipe. It's going to send the info back to the computer, and based on that data, the computer's going to say, "Whoa, there's too much fuel. There's not enough fuel. What we're seeing is not right here. Put more fuel in." So that's where we're going to see the computer. That's when we're talking about fuel trim. So we can see what's coming out, and we can see what the computer is telling the car to do. And based on that, we can poke around and find things. You could have a dirty mass airflow sensor. Valves out of adjustment are a big issue on the V engines and Hondas and Acuras.
147,000 miles. So, yeah, it's time. That's something else I want to talk about is that old check engine light. Because I had a lady in my shop, she went to her mechanic, and her light's on. He said, it's just a gas cap. We'll throw a gas cap on. It's not a big deal. It's an evap code. There's an evap code, seems like, in 1 in 10 cars we check out, maybe 2 in 10. So the problem with the check engine light just being on all the time is it does not discriminate between codes that mean something and codes that don't mean something. And the evap code means you are polluting. So if you don't want to pollute, you want to get it fixed. But you're never going to know when there's a misfire code in your engine. And when you got a misfire code and you're sending some raw fuel down into the catalytic converter, you're going to cost yourself more money. So don't ignore those check engine lights. Never get behind a check engine light. When they come on, whatever it is, just go ahead and fix it.
And, there's a difference, Dave, behind, it might just be a gas cap. It's no big deal. That's one thing someone might say, regardless whether it's a gas cap or something else, maybe because they can't fix it. Or Mrs. whatever or Mr. so-and-so, you have an evap code. I'm going to clear the code, and we're just going to put a gas cap on. It's no big deal. Sounded the same, but it's two different conversations. Meaning, the second one in my book is, here's what we're going to do. This is probably what it is. This is the easy way out for now, but go ahead and try it and see if the light comes back on. It's no big deal. You're not going to die in the car.
Yeah, it's not going to be on the side of the road.
Catch on fire. It's not a breakdown issue. Then you can get it in when it's more convenient. So there's two different kind of don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, an evap coat is not going to put you on the side of the road, but if you can't afford to fix a check engine light for a problem that's on, just know you got to have the computer scanned on a regular basis to see if anything new is showing up. In the meantime, save up for fixing whatever your evap emissions issue is. So we're going to go with, looks like Jim in Mesa on a 2004 Chevy 2500 diesel pickup. Go ahead, Jim. You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yes, I wanted to call because the air conditioner on the truck on the driver's side will all of a sudden turn real hot, and on the passenger side it'll stay cold. I've stopped at 3 different places and have 3 different things, from the Freon blow to a vacuum line to a blender door.
Is that got automatic climate control where you're dialing in the actual number of degrees, or is it just blue-red scale?
It just has 2 separate slides that go up and down for temperature. And what happens is you'll have the air conditioner on, and all of a sudden will be blowing hot air on one side and cold air on the other side. Or you have the heater on the vent and stuff, and all of a sudden it will jump very hot on one side and comfortable on the other.
Okay. Well, the answer is yes to all three of those
yeah.
things. If it were the summertime and you came in and you're telling me, gosh, it's Matt, it's really cold out of this side but not so cool out of the other side, I would say, well, yeah, it's a possibility that we do have a low on charge issue that will happen. But you could also, that's the next question. When in the summertime, there's sometimes a difference in finding out, Dave, whether you have hot air, which the air outside is hot, or whether you have superheated air. If you have heated hot air coming out of the air conditioning vents, that's not a charge issue.
It's a blend door issue.
That's a blend door, or as he said, a blender door issue. That's where we're going to direct the air, whether we want hot air or cold air, whether we want it on our feet, whether we want it out the dash vent. So it sounds to me like you probably have a control issue.
Yeah, control issue going on for sure. Well, we also got a text. Let's see. All right, maybe we don't. I misread it.
Which one were you looking at? I do know that if you want your bacons and potatoes on the side, that you definitely texted to the wrong phone number. So if by chance you're out there listening and you just put in an order for potatoes and bacon on the side, it's not going to happen unless you text to the right guy. So Dave, what do you think? Dan and Chandler with the Volkswagen?
Go ahead, Dan, quickly. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering about your guys' opinions on bumper-to-bumper warranties, if it's even worth it since you guys work on these cars.
Bumper-to-bumper
warranties? Like the extra warranties that they have, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you bet.
There's a couple right answers to that one too, right, Dave?
It really depends on who's selling the warranty. There's a lot of warranties that they say bumper to bumper, but then they don't cover, like on the transmission business, we don't cover seals, or, we don't cover clutches, but we cover hard parts, or whatever it may be. There's a lot of fine print in those warranties, so you got to stick with a good, reputable warranty if you're going to do a warranty. I'm not a big fan necessarily, but there is some good ones out there.
Well, and I've seen a lot of those pay a lot of bills, and it's insurance, so you just don't know. You don't know if you're going to have the opportunity to use it and recoup your money. It's a safety net on one hand. It's
what I hate to see happen is I hate to see people get stung by these warranties where they have a transmission issue, big repair, they're in our shop, and they find out it's not covered for one reason or another. You always got to stick with your maintenance. Make sure all your maintenance is done if you do one of those warranties, because that's the first thing they look for when there's a big repair. Well, let's see your maintenance records.
They're looking for an out. That's for sure.
So, thanks for joining us. If you're looking for a great shop, bumpertobumperradio.com. I can guarantee you all those shops are privately owned, and you can talk to the owner if you need to. Thanks, Peter, for running the dials. I'm going to remind you never to text and drive. And next week, we're going to clarify what should be on your auto repair invoice so that you can have a good relationship with your shop. He's Matt Allen, and I am Dave Riccio, and we'll see you next week at Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi, I'm Scott, General Manager with Whitey's Auto Repair here in South Scottsdale. We built a reputation for quality auto service and repair for over 45 years, and our customers have come to trust us for our recommendations. We value that trust, and that's why when it comes to transmissions for the past several decades, we have been recommending Tri-City Transmission. They have yet to disappoint. I feel so strongly about it, I wouldn't go anywhere else. Why would you? Google them online today at tricitytransmission.com. Go where the pros go. Tri-City Transmission.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, a time for decked halls, roasted chestnuts, and jingle bells. You can make a child's holiday magical this Christmas. The Wigwam and Arizona Biltmore Golf Clubs are partnering with Toys for Tots this holiday season to bring joy and Christmas toys to less fortunate children in the community. Bring an unopened toy or make a donation at either the Wigwam Golf Resort or the Arizona Biltmore Golf Club and receive a $10 merchandise credit to use in the pro shops. Help spread the Christmas cheer this year. Visit azbiltmoregc.com or wigwamgolf.com for more information.
There have been so many changes in Phoenix over the past couple of decades, but one thing has not changed in all that time. Kurtz. Family owned and operated, Kurtz Auto Repair has been reliably servicing and repairing vehicles for Valley car owners for over 24 years. Just one block east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue in Bell, Kurtz has done it all with a perfect Better Business Bureau record. For service, call 602-588-2878 or check them out online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurtz.
Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm Dave.
We're the car guys from the Bumper to Bumper radio show, heard right here on News Talk 92.3 KTAR every Saturday from 11 to noon.
Bumper to Bumper Radio, it's just like your favorite warm and comfy blanket for all your automotive needs.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Dave. And we're here not just on Saturdays, but 24/7 at bumpertobumperradio.com for all the very best repair and service shops in Phoenix.
Yep, right advice, products, and partners are all at bumpertobumperradio.com.